As I gazed through my backyard telescope that winter evening, something felt different about the familiar constellations overhead. The stars seemed to pulse with an unusual urgency, their ancient light carrying a message I couldn't yet decipher. I'd spent countless nights mapping the sky, documenting celestial bodies, and uploading my amateur astronomy findings to various online communities. But nothing in my 15 years of stargazing had prepared me for what I was about to discover. It started with a subtle distortion, barely noticeable against the backdrop of Orion's belt. At first, I dismissed it as atmospheric interference, or perhaps a smudge on my lens. But as I adjusted the focus, my hands trembling slightly in the crisp night air, the anomaly became clearer. A massive object, perfectly geometric in shape, was moving against the natural flow of the stars. I wasn't the only one who noticed. Within hours, social media exploded with similar reports from astronomers worldwide. Professional observatories confirmed what we were seeing. An artificial structure, roughly the size of Earth's moon, had entered our solar system. The major news networks interrupted their regular programming, and governments scrambled to make sense of the situation. That was 3 days ago. Now, I sit in my makeshift command center, really just my basement office filled with monitoring equipment, as part of a global network of civilian observers. The military has been surprisingly open about involving amateur astronomers in tracking the object. Maybe they realize that with something this big, there's no point in trying to keep it secret. The most unsettling part isn't the vessel's size or its obvious artificial nature. It's the fact that it's not alone. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected at least 7 more objects of similar size, all maintaining perfect formation as they approach our solar system. Their trajectory suggests deliberate intent. They're not just passing through. Yesterday, at exactly 3:47 p.m. Eastern Time, every electronic device on Earth capable of receiving a signal displayed the same message. It wasn't in any human language, but rather a series of mathematical sequences that our computers quickly decoded. The translation sent chills down my spine. This territory falls within the boundaries of the Galactic Empire. Prepare for standard evaluation procedures. The world's leading scientists and military strategists are working around the clock to understand what standard evaluation procedures might entail. Historical records and ancient civilizations are being re-examined for any hints of previous visits. Some theorize that various mythological events might have been earlier evaluations, but we can't be sure. As I update this log, another message has just been broadcasted globally. This one is different. It's not from our visitors. The signal appears to be coming from somewhere deep within our own solar system. From what we thought was empty space, it's being translated now, but initial fragments suggest it's a warning, possibly from someone who has encountered these evaluators before. The message mentions something about Earth being marked for preservation, but we don't know if that's good news or bad news. What we do know is that humanity is about to face its greatest challenge. Our technology, our military might, our very way of life. Everything we've built might mean nothing to a civilization capable of crossing the vast distances between stars. I've been asked to continue documenting these events as they unfold. The military believes that civilian perspectives might prove valuable in understanding what's happening. They're particularly interested in any patterns we amateur astronomers might notice in the visitor's behavior. But as I watch the geometric shapes grow larger in my telescope's viewfinder, I can't help but wonder, are we really ready for what comes next? The second part of the warning message is still being decoded. Whatever it contains, I have a feeling it's going to change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. This is just the beginning of our story, and whether we like it or not, Earth has become the focus of something far bigger than ourselves. The complete warning message took 6 hours to decode. As I sit here transcribing it, my hands are shaking, not from fear, but from the sheer weight of what we've learned. The message wasn't just a warning. It was a survival guide, written in the mathematical language of a civilization that had faced the Empire's evaluation thousands of years ago. According to the message, these evaluations aren't simple tests of technological advancement or cultural achievement. They're comprehensive assessments of a species' potential to either serve or threaten the Empire's dominion over our galaxy. The warning described three possible outcomes: absorption, preservation, or, the word still makes my throat tight, optimization. The global internet has become a storm of theories and speculation. Some people are celebrating the idea that we're not alone in the universe, while others are stockpiling supplies and heading for remote locations. I understand both reactions, but neither seems quite right. The truth is, we're dealing with something far more complex than either panic or celebration can address. Our military satellites have captured detailed images of the lead vessel now. Its surface is covered in what appear to be city-sized structures, but they're arranged in patterns that defy our understanding of architecture. More disturbing are the energy readings we're detecting. The power output from just one of these ships could supply Earth's entire energy needs for a century. The warning message included something else, a set of coordinates leading to what it called a preservation vault hidden beneath the surface of Mars. Apparently, we're not the first civilization in our solar system to face evaluation. The vault supposedly contains technology and information left behind by those who came before us, meant to help whoever came next. NASA and other space agencies are scrambling to redirect any available Mars missions to these coordinates. The Chinese have already announced they're launching an emergency mission within the week. It's remarkable how quickly international cooperation has materialized in the face of this situation. Former enemies are now sharing resources and information freely, united by a common purpose. The most intriguing part of the warning message was its description of why Earth was marked for preservation. It mentioned something called the divergence factor. Apparently, our species has developed in ways that are extremely rare in the galaxy. Our combination of technological progress and cultural diversity is almost unprecedented. Most civilizations, it seems, tend toward uniformity as they advance. We're an anomaly, and that might be our greatest strength. I've been working with a team of researchers to analyze patterns in the Empire ship's movements. They're maintaining a perfect hexagonal formation as they approach, but there's something odd about their spacing. One of our team members, a professor of ancient mathematics, believes their positioning corresponds to sacred geometric patterns found in ancient human architecture. It's as if they're trying to communicate through spatial relationships rather than just messages. The public response to all this has been surprisingly measured, all things considered. Yes, there's fear and uncertainty, but there's also a growing sense of human unity. Street interviews show people from all walks of life expressing the same sentiment. Whatever happens, we face it together. Global religious leaders are calling for peace and cooperation, while scientists and military strategists work side by side to understand our options. Last night, I noticed something that hasn't been reported yet. The Empire ships aren't just maintaining their formation. They're slowly rotating around a central axis, like a massive clockwork mechanism, and with each rotation, they edge slightly closer to Earth. At their current pace, they'll reach our orbit in exactly 7 days. Whatever their standard evaluation procedures entail, we're about to find out. The preservation vault on Mars might be our only chance to prepare. But with just a week to reach it, understand its contents, and put any discovered knowledge to use, we're in a race against time, and the clock is ticking. 3 days have passed since the Mars mission launched, and the tension on Earth is palpable. The Empire ships maintain their inexorable approach, their massive forms now visible to the naked eye as dark geometric shapes against the night sky. They've begun emitting low-frequency pulses that our instruments can detect but can't decipher. Each pulse seems to ripple through our planet's magnetic field, causing subtle but measurable disturbances. The Chinese-led Mars expedition, crewed by an international team of specialists, has just landed at the coordinates specified in the warning message. Their initial scans revealed something remarkable, an entire complex of structures buried beneath the Martian surface. The architecture appears to combine elements from multiple civilizations, suggesting this vault has been used and expanded by different species over millennia. As the exploration team breached the first chamber, they discovered something unprecedented: a library of crystalline structures, each seemingly containing vast amounts of data. The team's preliminary analysis suggests these crystals are quantum storage devices holding information about countless civilizations that faced the Empire's evaluation. But what's truly astonishing is that these crystals appear to be actively updating themselves, as if they're still connected to some vast network we can't detect. Back on Earth, our deep space monitoring stations detected a new phenomenon. The Empire ships have begun creating what appears to be a massive energy field around our planet. It's unlike anything we've ever encountered, a lattice of pure energy that seems to fold space itself. Our best physicists are still trying to understand what we're seeing, but one thing is clear: we're being contained. The Mars team just made another crucial discovery. Among the crystalline records, they found detailed accounts of previous evaluations. The process always follows the same pattern: containment, assessment, and then one of the three outcomes mentioned in the warning. But there's something different about Earth's evaluation. We're the first civilization they've encountered that was already marked for preservation before they arrived. The team managed to activate some kind of holographic interface within the vault. It showed countless star systems, each marked with different symbols. Many were labeled as optimized, systems where the Empire had completely redesigned the native civilization to serve their purposes. Others were marked as absorbed, peacefully integrated into the Empire's structure. But the systems marked for preservation were vanishingly rare, and all of them showed signs of what the interface called the divergence factor. Just hours ago, our global defense systems detected something alarming. The Empire ships have begun deploying smaller vessels, each about the size of a city block. These ships are arranging themselves in a complex three-dimensional grid around Earth, creating what appears to be some kind of scanning network. Each point in this grid pulses with energy that penetrates deep into our planet's core. The Mars team is racing to decode more information from the vault, but they've run into complications. The deeper chambers appear to be protected by security measures that respond to specific genetic markers, as if they were designed to only be accessed by certain species. They've found references to something called the Preservation Protocol, but accessing those files has proven challenging. Most concerning is what our astronomers just discovered. The Empire ships aren't just scanning Earth. They're creating some kind of temporal distortion field. Time itself seems to be moving slightly differently inside their containment grid. We don't know if this is part of their evaluation process or preparation for something else entirely. The vault's holographic interface suddenly began displaying a countdown, synchronized perfectly with the Empire ship's rotation. Whatever they're planning will happen in exactly 47 hours. The Mars team is working desperately to access the protected chambers, believing they contain crucial information about the preservation protocol. Meanwhile, the Empire's scanning grid grows more complex by the hour, and that temporal distortion continues to strengthen. Something big is coming. We can feel it in the way the air itself seems to hum with energy, and the way electronic devices worldwide are beginning to behave erratically, and in the strange patterns appearing in the sky as the Empire's containment field warps the very fabric of space around our planet. The question isn't just whether we'll survive, it's whether we'll still be ourselves when this is over. With just 23 hours left on the countdown, something unexpected happened. The Mars team discovered that the vault's security system wasn't keeping them out. It was waiting for something specific. The genetic markers it was scanning for weren't alien at all. They were human, or more precisely, they were what human DNA looked like thousands of years ago, before certain segments went dormant. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt. We weren't just marked for preservation by chance. The civilization that left the warning message, the one that built the vault, was us. Or rather, a version of us from an ancient cycle of human evolution that had faced the Empire before. The dormant sections of our DNA weren't jump code. They were encrypted keys waiting to be activated. This discovery coincided with another phenomenon that our scientists are still struggling to explain. The Empire's temporal distortion field has begun affecting human consciousness in subtle but measurable ways. People worldwide report experiencing brief flashes of memories that aren't their own, glimpses of ancient cities, advanced technologies, and battles fought among the stars. The Mars team managed to access the deeper chambers using blood samples containing the activated genetic markers. What they found defies everything we thought we knew about human history. The vault doesn't just contain information, it houses functional technology that makes our most advanced achievements look primitive by comparison. But more importantly, it contains a message from our ancestors explaining why Earth was marked for preservation. According to the records, humanity has faced the Empire's evaluation multiple times throughout our species' existence. Each time, we chose a radical solution. We deliberately reverted our civilization to a primitive state, preserving our core divergent traits while hiding our true technological capabilities. We didn't just survive the Empire's evaluations, we outsmarted them by appearing less advanced than we really were. The temporal distortion field isn't just a side effect of the Empire's presence. It's beginning to unlock these buried memories within our collective consciousness. As the field intensifies, more people are remembering skills and knowledge from our previous cycles of civilization. It's as if the Empire's own evaluation process is inadvertently awakening exactly what they've been looking for. But here's where things get complicated. The Empire ships have detected this awakening. Their scanning pattern has shifted, focusing intense energy beams on specific locations around the globe, places where ancient structures lie buried beneath modern cities. They're not just evaluating us anymore, they're trying to prevent something from happening. The Mars team just activated what they're calling the Preservation Core, a quantum computer that makes our most advanced AI look like a pocket calculator. It's revealing a truth almost too massive to comprehend. Earth isn't just a planet marked for preservation. It's the original homeworld of a civilization that once rivaled the Empire itself. We're not just being evaluated, we're being contained because they fear what we might remember. The countdown continues to tick away, but now it holds a different meaning. It's not marking the time until our evaluation. It's counting down to a global awakening that our ancestors planned millennia ago. The Empire isn't here to assess us. They're here to prevent us from remembering who we really are. As I write this, the temporal distortion field has reached a critical threshold. More people are experiencing the ancestral memories, and with them comes an understanding of technologies we shouldn't possibly know about. The Empire ships have begun moving into attack formation, but their actions seem desperate rather than methodical. For the first time since they arrived, they appear to be the ones who are afraid. The Preservation Core has started broadcasting a signal that resonates with both the dormant DNA sequences and the Empire's containment field. Something unprecedented is about to happen, and not even our ancient records can tell us exactly what. All we know is that humanity's greatest test isn't about proving ourselves to the Empire. It's about remembering who we truly are. The Preservation Core's signal reached its peak just as the countdown hit 0. What happened next defied every law of physics we thought we knew. The Empire's containment field, designed to trap us, instead became a catalyst for something extraordinary. Every human being on Earth simultaneously experienced a surge of ancestral memories, not as distant echoes but as living knowledge awakening within us. The dormant sections of our DNA didn't just activate, they transformed. We were changing, not into something alien, but into what we had always been meant to become. The Empire ships launched their attack, firing weapons that could shatter planets, but they were too late. The same quantum field they created to contain us was now protecting us, redirected by technologies that had lain dormant in our cells for millennia. From the Mars Vault, the international team watched in awe as ancient defense systems buried beneath Earth's surface came online. The ground beneath major cities shifted, revealing structures that made our tallest skyscrapers look like children's toys. These weren't just buildings. They were ships, weapons, and scientific installations that our ancestors had hidden away, disguised as natural formations, waiting for this exact moment. The Empire's attack faltered as they realized the truth. Their standard evaluation procedures weren't meant to test us. They were meant to keep us dormant. Each previous evaluation had been an attempt to prevent this awakening. But this time was different. This time, we had help from our own future, encoded in crystalline memories and hidden within our very genes. The Preservation Core revealed its true purpose. It wasn't just a computer. It was a bridge connecting us to parallel versions of Earth across multiple timelines. The Empire hadn't just been containing our planet. They had been containing every version of Earth across countless dimensions. As this connection stabilized, we gained access to the combined knowledge and capabilities of humanity across all these realities. But the real shock came when we realized why the Empire feared us so much. We weren't just another civilization to be evaluated. We were their predecessors. Humanity, in all its infinite variations across time and space, had given birth to what became the Empire. They were our descendants, evolved over millions of years, who had forgotten their own origins and turned to rigid control in place of the diversity that made us strong. The Empire ships began to retreat, but not before transmitting one final message. It wasn't a threat or a warning. It was a recognition. The evaluation wasn't meant to judge us. It was a failsafe we had built into their programming, designed to awaken us if they ever strayed too far from their original purpose. We had planned this entire sequence of events, across millennia and dimensions, to restore balance to a galaxy that had forgotten the value of divergence. As the ships disappeared into deep space, the changes they triggered continued to ripple through human civilization. We weren't just awakening to our past. We were evolving into something new, yet somehow familiar. The knowledge and capabilities we gained weren't gifts from advanced aliens. They were our inheritance, waiting to be reclaimed. The Mars team made one final discovery before returning home. The vault wasn't just a library or a backup system. It was a seed, one of many we had planted throughout the galaxy. Each contained the same message. When the children of Earth remember their origins, the great cycle begins anew. As I record these events, humanity stands at a crossroads. With our true nature awakened and our capabilities restored, we face a choice. Do we follow in the Empire's footsteps, imposing order through control? Or do we forge a new path, embracing the very diversity and divergence that made us unique in the first place? The answer, it seems, lies in the same pattern that has defined our species from the beginning. We choose both and neither, and something entirely new, because that's what it means to be human, to defy expectations, to transcend limitations, and to find unity in our infinite variety. The Empire didn't fail to evaluate us. They succeeded in remembering who they used to be. 3 months have passed since the Empire's departure, and Earth has transformed in ways none of us could have imagined. The awakening didn't turn us into godlike beings or erase our humanity. Instead, it revealed the perfect balance between what we were and what we could become. Cities have evolved, seamlessly blending our recovered technologies with the natural world. The ancient installations now serve as centers of learning, where people gather to understand their newly awakened abilities and memories. The most profound changes aren't in our technology, but in our understanding. The collective memories we gained showed us countless versions of human civilization, some that reached the stars, others that turned inward to explore consciousness itself. Each path held its own wisdom, and instead of choosing one, we're learning to walk them all simultaneously. It's exactly this ability to embrace seemingly contradictory truths that makes us unique. The Mars Vault has become humanity's first off-world university, where scientists and scholars from every nation work together to decode more of our inherited knowledge. But they're not just studying technology. They're learning about the intricate web of decisions and safeguards our ancestors put in place to ensure we would eventually remember who we are. The vault contains detailed records of how they deliberately engineered our dormancy, hiding our true capabilities until we were mature enough to handle them responsibly. Global cooperation has reached unprecedented levels, not through force or necessity, but through a shared understanding of our common heritage. The memories we recovered showed us that nationalism and division were luxuries we could no longer afford. Yet, true to our nature, we haven't created a single world government. Instead, we've developed a complex network of overlapping communities and authorities, as diverse and interconnected as the human genome itself. Perhaps the most surprising discovery was finding other vaults throughout our solar system, each containing pieces of our story. There's one deep beneath Venus's clouds, another in Jupiter's moon Europa, and several more scattered through the Kuiper Belt. Each holds different aspects of our inheritance, ensuring that no single group could access everything at once. It's a testament to our ancestors' wisdom. They understood that power must be earned through growth and understanding. Communication with the Empire has been limited but revealing. They've retreated to the galaxy's outer rings, not in defeat, but in reflection. Our awakening forced them to confront their own history, to remember that they too were once beings who celebrated diversity and divergence. Some of their ships have returned, not as evaluators, but as students, eager to relearn what they had forgotten. The temporal distortion field, rather than dissipating, has become a permanent feature of our solar system. But instead of disrupting time, it now serves as a bridge between different aspects of human potential. People report not just remembering past lives, but catching glimpses of possible futures. These visions serve as guides, helping us navigate the countless paths before us without becoming lost in their infinity. As for me, I've put away my telescope. The stars hold no more mysteries, at least not the kind that can be seen through lenses. The real frontier isn't in space, but in the endless possibilities of human consciousness. Every day brings new discoveries as people awaken to their own potential, not as conquerors of the galaxy, but as guardians of diversity itself. The Empire's evaluation wasn't the end of our story. It was just the beginning of a new chapter. We've taken our place among the stars not as another imperial power, but as something far more important. A reminder that true strength lies in embracing difference, in choosing multiple paths simultaneously, in being paradoxically both one thing and many things at once. Tonight, as I finish this record of our awakening, I can't help but smile at the elegance of it all. We didn't just survive the evaluation, we completed a cycle billions of years in the making, and as I look up at the stars, I no longer see distant points of light. I see beacons of possibility, each one a potential path for humanity to explore, because that's who we are, not just observers of the cosmos, but its custodians, guardians of a diversity so precious that we engineered our own forgetting just to remember it again. The real question isn't what happens next. The real question is, what will we choose to become? And the answer, as always, is everything we can imagine and more.